let's take it from the back. The worst bad beat. I don't know. I've had plenty of bad beats. I have. There's two hands that stands out to me, which was like actually both in tournaments when we're both times we're 3 players left at the final table, and we have both situations. There's one guy with very few chips, and me and the other player has a lot of chips. And both times we get entangled in a big hand, and both times I ended up having the best hand, and all the money went in. And unfortunately, I lost both hands. It happens all the time, but the situation with the third guy being very short stacked, maybe we should have been more careful and knock him out first, and then take the big battle afterward. So that was that was a little bit unlucky. I lost both of them and got knocked out in third place instead of maybe securing second, and then. But it happens all the time. It's poker. You win some lucky hands, you lose some unlucky hands. What the hands were, I don't really remember, but it was more the situation that was kind of unfortunate. But everybody is going to have some lucky stories and then some unlucky, but let's not go through that. The best hand, I think they have a hand, actually, I think somebody made like a top 50 over really good hands played on TV, and one of the hands that sticks to mind, a lot of people know about the Daniel Negreanu hand, but it's always easier to play when you have the stone cold nuts. It's much tougher to make some decisions when you actually have a mediocre hand that you want to win as much as possible, but you don't want to lose it all because you have kind of a medium hand. So I was very fortunate having 4 of a kind. I couldn't lose, so that made that hand kind of play a little bit easy. Of course, you want to win as much as possible, but there was another hand actually from a tournament in London where I had a full house. I flopped 3 of a kind. I made a full house, and I actually folded on the river against Mark Winston, British player. And when I told him, we were heads up at the final table, and when I told him, he couldn't believe it. He didn't believe me, and then he saw it on TV, and he said, "How did you fold that? And how do you do that? Sometimes things just doesn't feel right." So I mean, you make a decision, and sometimes it's the right one. The more correct decisions you make, the better results you will have. And for example, we're here in Monte Carlo, big tournament. I wanted to do good. This is my hometown, so I wanted to make a good run at it, and I was still there with like 150 players. But again, I was facing a tough decision on the river. My opponent bet a lot, and something didn't smell right, but I ended up calling, and it was just a bad decision, and I blame myself for making that decision. So sometimes you make the right, sometimes you make the wrong, but the more correct ones. But the folding of the full house against Mark, that was a really nice laydown. So
see you at ThePlayr.com.